I have to tell you, AOC, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she has been laser focused on zooming in as to what all of this right-wing posturing is really about, and has done an excellent job, as good as anybody in the Democratic Party at this point, of really uncovering what is the true goal of all of this stuff. And what there is here that is not always obvious is that as observers of politics, we see behavior and policies and claims that they don't really make sense to us. Oh, Doge is all about government efficiency, yet they cut the mechanisms which allow departments to function more efficiently. That doesn't really make any sense. And there's a deeper truth as to what things are really about. And AOC went nuclear on House Republicans yesterday because the numbers simply don't lie. The Republican Party has been screaming about so-called illegals on welfare for months, obviously for years, but for months. But even if you buy their number, which is that there's, for example, 1 million undocumented immigrants getting Medicaid, the new proposal from Republicans, based on the estimates we looked at yesterday, would push between 13 and 14 million people off of Medicaid. So if the stated goal is get undocumented immigrants off Medicaid, but the way you're going to do it is by kicking off 13 to 14 times more individuals than the number you've said are receiving Medicaid, it must be about something different. And this is exactly what AOC took on yesterday. Take a listen to this.
And the math is not adding up. They're trying to convince people that they are cutting millions of undocumented people from payroll, or from Medicare, acting as though this is what's going to save it. Even if you believe
Medicare and Medicaid, by the way,
everything that Republicans have said today, they are identifying 1 million their claim, which I dispute, but if you believe them, their claim is that 1 million undocumented people are on Medicaid. So why are they trying to cut 13.7 million Americans off their health care?
Right.
By the Republicans' own Energy and Commerce tweet this morning, their claim is 7.6 million people are somehow ineligible for health care. So why are they cutting 13.7 million Americans off their health care? They've asked us to read this bill, and we have. This bill bans the people that they kick off of Medicaid from even buying their own insurance from the Affordable Care Act exchange. So once you are kicked off Medicaid, you then can't even buy your own health insurance. It increases costs for people who they deem eligible and who are low income and forces them to pay even more. And if you have a private insurer, don't worry, you're getting screwed over too.
So this is worse than just kicking people off, because what Republicans are pushing to do is change the program with cuts such that a lot of people will lose Medicaid coverage and will lose elements of Medicare coverage. But then they also get banned from buying insurance through the Obamacare exchanges. So really understand the cruelty of this. If you get cut from access to coverage under the current plan, you're not allowed to buy your own insurance in the marketplace. You're just out. So that's not cutting waste. There's no waste that's being cut. It's just targeted cruelty. And for people who do still qualify for Medicaid, their costs are going to go up. Private insurance premiums expected to spike. Nobody escapes this thing without getting gouged. So what is the real impetus behind this? The truth is that Medicaid is one of the most effective government programs we have. Republicans hate that. It's popular, it works, it helps lower middle working class people, especially in red states. They don't want that because this is the same party that tried to repeal Obamacare more than 50 times. It's the same party that called health care a privilege rather than a right. It's the same party that voted to slash Medicaid while giving the ultra wealthy another tax break and the making permanent of 2017 tax cuts if they can get that done. So they say it's about fraud. It's not. They say it's about saving money. It's not. This is about punishing poor people while pretending to protect taxpayers. Not very populist, despite all of the populist rhetoric. So good for AOC doing what all Democrats should be doing, which is saying the math doesn't work. It's a scam. They're either wrong about the numbers, and even if they're right, they're wrong about the conclusions, and refusing to let this be framed as anything other than a full-scale war on healthcare targeted at older folks and at lower income people. Good for AOC. I was just on a call the other day with some, what would I call them? I was on a call with some sort of like creator adjacent observers of the space that we are in. And they noticed with tears in their eyes, they were sobbing. They said, David, your view on AOC has changed. What happened? And I explained at the beginning of AOC's career, I found that she lacked a lot of the practical empirical foundation for a lot of what she was pushing. She has changed that. She has become one of the most savvy and I believe pragmatic folks that is getting attention in the Democratic Party. And it is so good to see her call this crap out for what it is. After researching, writing, refining, The Echo Machine, my book, is finally out. This is not just a book about how American politics got so broken. It's also about what's happening right now and what we can still do to stop things from getting worse. Trump's been back in power. The results have been even more catastrophic than many feared, with targeting of political opponents and gutting democratic institutions, laying the groundwork to even further consolidate power. But the thing is that none of this is inevitable. The same forces that brought us here can be countered if we understand how they work and what to do about them. And that's what the Echo Machine is all about. Some say that without corporate media backing, books like this can't succeed. I think we can prove them wrong. You can get the Echo Machine right now at davidpakman.com/echo on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Kindle, or by calling any local bookstore and asking them to order it. This book is more important than ever. If you care about what happens next, and I do, check out The Echo Machine today at davidpakman.com/echo.